repairman. We're just doing a simple video on cutting sheetrock. There's several different ways of cutting sheetrock. Everybody has their own way. Everybody says this is the way to do it. No, this is the way to do it. There's really no right or wrong way. There's easier ways to make your job easier. Don't break your back. The first step right here, what I'm doing is just leaning it against my truck. You can lean the sheetrock against a nice straight wall. Lean it up, standing up the sheetrock. This technique's easiest so you can use your T-square like I'm doing here. I'm standing up my T-square. Then I'm taking my measurements. I can mark it with my pencil. This is the easiest way, is standing up your sheetrock. Once you use your T-square and you mark your areas, then you just cut it with the razor blade. Up and down cuts, all the way to the floor. This is the most preferred way most sheetrockers hang when the sheetrock's on a job site. We lean it against the wall and then we just cut it per sheet, take it from the pile. Whenever you cut your sheetrock, you cut your face paper first with a nice new razor blade, and then you snap the sheetrock and you cut the back, and then you just snap the sheetrock. You don't have to cut the face paper really deep. You just gotta be able to snap the sheetrock. You're just scoring it. Another technique is cutting sheetrock on the floor or a workbench. Sometimes this is the easier way also, because you can just lay it on the ground, mark your areas, and then work with the T-square. I do this with smaller pieces of drywall because I don't want to lean a little piece like this against my truck. So it's smaller than one sheet. It's easier to work with it on the ground or workbench, horses, something like that. So cutting it on the ground is an easy technique. Same thing here. You just want to score the face of the drywall with a nice clean sharp razor, snap it, cut the back side brown paper and snap it, and it's good to go. Same thing here. Just take your measurements. I'm just cutting a little 1 foot by 1 foot square. You can't just cut out a little square. You got to cut out the whole length of the sheetrock. So it's easier. Just get your pencils here. Like I said, I'm just doing a 1 foot by 1 foot. I just need this one square, but I'm going to have to cut the whole length all the way down. So I'm going to waste the piece underneath it just to get the one piece. If you wanted to just cut out the square, then you'd have an odd shaped piece of scrap sheetrock. So it's easier just to cut it, snap it, and then the other part that I cut, same thing there, just cut it, snap it, cut the back side. Keyhole saws. Keyhole saws are used a lot also. With keyhole saws, I mostly use that for cutting out detail areas, light boxes, around pipes, stuff like that. It's easier to use a keyhole saw. If I had to cut a whole sheet with a keyhole saw, it'd be difficult. It can be done. If that's the only tool I had, then I'd have to do it. But for big areas, straight cuts, we use a razor blade. For detail cuts like this, we use a keyhole saw. A keyhole saw like this is about $7 to $12. There's just a cheapy one here, and this thing works good. I got this thing for like $7. Light boxes, you get your measurements, and of course you have to stand up the sheetrock when you do your keyhole saw cuts like this, leaning against the wall. When you cut light boxes and stuff, you try to always get the perfect matches and measure the boxes. Even the best drywallers don't do the perfect cuts. They're always off a little bit, 1/8 of an inch, 2/8 of an inch. Any gaps that you create because you're hanging the sheetrock, the gaps are fine. You can always pre-fill the gaps with mud and tape over them and coat over them. So any mistakes you do make, don't feel bad. Even the best drywallers make mistakes. Take example, this piece of sheetrock. This is not even a 5-foot section. Look at all the detailed cuts I have. So you will make mistakes, but practice. Hey, thanks for watching this simple video. Please subscribe and like. Thank you.